So good evening, everyone. We are welcome to this amazing show. I call it Let's Talk Wednesday. It's a show where we come to talk about different amazing ideas affecting our society and sharing insights, answering questions, and having questions from here. So today it's going to be a very unique one. It's a fourth episode of this Let's Talk podcast. Let's Talk Wednesday. Today we are going to address a problem that is rising in our society, something that has bothered me personally. A problem we see in a society where people are now, most young ones or most individuals are now tilting towards perception, towards illusion, towards performances, towards appearances, and forgetting the important part of a man's life, which is his character. You cannot get a building to stand without having the foundation set. And a man without a character is like a building with no foundation. So because of these problems, I've observed these problems and I've had these questions in my head. So today, generally, we're going to be discussing about character, the importance of character in an age of performance. This age where everybody's trying to perform, everybody's trying to appear, and forgetting to build the foundation of one's life. We're going to delve into that by asking questions, sharing our insights, and understanding more. Amazingly, I have two amazing people, two strong minds, people I admire. I have them with me here today as my speakers to help me dissect and explain these questions I have in my head. The first speaker I have here today is my beloved friend, a strong mind himself, Mr. Uche Ikedi. Thank you so much, bro, for accepting my invitation to be here. You're welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
Great. And the second speaker I have here with me is Mr. Chinonso Emelogo. Another great man. Even your face cap tells a lot about you. So welcome and thank you for accepting my invitation to be here, brotherly. You're welcome, brotherly.
Thank you so much. My honor.
Great. And I want to also acknowledge the presence of those who are in the background, who are watching, who are listening, and who might have questions as we move on. So let's get right into this conversation. Let's begin the conversation. I want to start this with this question, okay? Now, in this age where social media is like a god, I would say, quote unquote, has social media made us individuals? Has social media made us value perception more than character?
Hold up, before you continue. This show is sponsored by Lasalo Drop Logistics. It is a logistics company that deals with all kinds of international shipments from your doorstep here in Port Harcourt to their doorstep anywhere in the world. They also handle local deliveries here in Port Harcourt. Now, if you're looking to book any delivery, both shipments internationally and local deliveries, and you want a discount, use the code on your screen below, BuildOsuji090, to get a discount. Enjoy the show.
Has it made us value perception more than character? And why do people spend so much energy looking successful than becoming successful in this time? Mr. Ked, you can kick off the floor.
All right. So thank you very much for having me in here. And I think it's a great honor to actually talk about some of the things you said we are going to discuss today, and I think it will be a time of learning myself, and as I was also listening to you yourself, the host, and also my co-speaker today. Firstly, to answer the question you asked, okay, and if I get your question correctly, I will say yes. Okay, social media has ruined a whole lot of things, though it is not how it is supposed to be. And people tend to put more into looking looking intelligent, looking wise, looking rich, as social media would actually present it, more than building this thing in the real sense of it, because everybody seeks for validation. I feel most people want to seek for validation because of how social media has presented, or kind of prepare the mind of especially the young people. Okay, prepare the mind of the young people to view how life is supposed to look like. Okay, so I personally feel that social media, okay, has actually caused most of this damage. Okay, if I get your question correctly, but then I think there is a second part of this question you asked. Can you just repeat that again?
Why do people spend so much energy looking successful instead of actually becoming successful?
Validation. I think it's because of validation. I just think it's because of validation, where everybody wants to hear what people say about them instead of actually knowing fully well who they are or what they say about themselves. So I think that is the reason.
Okay, validation. That's a huge point, because validation can be a two-edged sword. I would say it can help you conquer, and also it can also kill you too if not used the right way. So I think that's a valid point. Mr. Nonso, what's your take?
Okay, I personally do think that this has become the case now because many people in the world today, they are looking for the easy route. Now, over the years, we have subconsciously become imposters of capacity. What do I mean by this? People do not take their time out in our day and age now to actually learn certain things as they should learn them. They do not take their time to go through the hurdles and the struggles that at the end of the day the crown of success comes with. They just believe that when they come out to the social media space and maybe take off their clothes or wear funny dresses and then go viral for a day or two, and eventually becomes an identity for them, that in itself is success. But I do not believe that is success. They have just built an idea of what success is for them. So it is also an example of what I said earlier, looking for the easy way out. And many of the times, the easy way out is not usually the best way. So that is just what I think.
Easy way out. And one thing validation does to one is, because if you embrace validation the wrong way, it just leads you to want to get it as quick as possible, as soon as possible. Which now leads them into what you just said, looking for the easy way out, avoiding the struggles, the hurdles that it actually takes to build a real man or to build a real personality, and they begin to look towards the easy way out. But there's this common thing that people say, I'll call it an excuse or something, that they use in trying to justify this value of perception, I would say. They call it personal branding. I love that. Personal branding. Now, I have a question on that in regards to personal branding. Now, of these two, between personal branding and personal character, which of them should a young man, by man I mean I'm including both genders, right? Male and female. Which of them should a young man focus on building? Personal brand or personal character? Or you can say, is it something that should be built one after the other, or something that should be built at the same time? And if at the same time, which should take more priority than over the other?
Okay. I think one is the foundation of the other. In the field of medicine, I'm not actually in that field, but I'm just using this as an example. When it comes to the human body, we have the vein and we have the arteries. Now, the arteries happen to be the lifeline of the human body.
Yeah.
If there is a cut in the artery, it's either the person bleeds out and die. The artery helps carry both oxygen and what have you to the heart. I see character as an artery also. What do I mean by this? When an individual doesn't build character, and by character I mean good character, many of the things that he or she does in life will eventually become stunted over time. And when you do not have personal character development as an individual, you cannot have a brand. You cannot have certain things that would help you build as a young man or as a young woman. So I personally think that the most important is personal character. the development of personal character. It's very, very important. I feel that it very well precedes that of your own personal brand. Your own branding precedes it. If you do not have a character that is well to do, your branding is likely not going to have also.
That makes sense. Mr. Ked, what are your thoughts?
All right. So just to add to everything that have been said, I just think you cannot have a personal brand if you don't have a character. So it's more like we just said it is personal, right? So you are building a brand. It's going to be a reflection of your character, right? So let's keep the visibility aside, okay? First, because for you to actually be visible, let's talk about building a brand or a personal brand now. For you to be visible, you must have had something you want to let the world see. So that thing you are coming to let the world see, which is more like your brand, it's going to be a reflection of your personal character. So in a case of building a personal brand and a personal character, I think personal character precedes getting a personal brand. In fact, when you are building a good character, a strong character, you are creating a brand for yourself. Okay. So be it business, because the truth is your business is going to either flourish or just end up not yielding anything important if you don't have a strong character. Now let me use a real life example of what I do as a forex trader. Okay, for example, forex is not just, aside the fact that people come there to make money and the rest of it. Forex is more than just clicking a buy in the market or clicking a sell in the market to make profit. So there will be a time your psychology will be tested. There will be a time your emotion will be tested. There will be a time your personal discipline, because these are the things that help you to create a stable mindset for you to successfully trade or for you to make it out as a forex trader. So this is how your personal character is going to affect yourself or affect you, either in the course of you creating a personal brand for yourself. So this is just an instance. So in the case of building a personal brand and a personal character, I think personal character precedes that, and it is more important that every young person tends to build a stable and a strong character for himself. It's going to help you succeed in anything you actually want to venture into as a person.
Thank you so much. Thank you. From what the two of you had just said or explained, you've placed priority on building personal character over the personal brand. Mr. Echin also said that one is the foundation to the other, which means personal character is the foundation to building a personal brand, which is beautiful. Now, another thing that I highlighted from all you said, or what you said, was the fact that personal character also involves building your values. All right, building values that you want the world to see. You get values. Now, a question comes to mind from there. How does an individual know? Because sometimes there's something in organizational leadership. There's something we call character drifting. Now, character drifting basically means when someone begins to drift in character unknowingly, he does not know that he's actually changing. His character is actually changing, but he's drifting. Maybe due to pressures that come from the environment he stays in, his leadership position, his roles, those he's leading. All those pressures can lead to what we call character drifting. Now, the question I have in mind is this: how does one know when you are performing for people? How do I know when I'm performing for people instead of living according to my values? In leadership, when the character drift begins to play, there are systems that are put in place to enable one serve as a mirror to identify this drifting character. Now, in this scenario now, how do I basically know when I'm beginning to perform for people instead of living the values that my personal character portrays?
All right. So I think there is this attitude I've actually been, or should I say, character I've actually been building. That is the reflection. Okay, reflecting on my activities every day. Okay, before going to bed. right? And keeping journals. So lately I've been keeping journals, and before I keep journals, or before I write down some of the things I actually learned during the day or in my activities, okay, during the day, I actually reflect on the things I did. So when we reflect, okay, as I practice that principle of reflection, I tend to measure the things I actually achieved during the day or in the course of my activities of that day. Now, when I measure these things, I get to discover sometimes that there were times I actually did things that were not in line to the kind of person I want to become. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I think having a goal, yearly, monthly, daily, lifetime, any way we want to set it at all, and then having plans to achieve those goals, okay, helps us to avoid the character drifting you're talking about now. Now, every day of our life, it could be weekly, it could be daily, it could be monthly, depending on how everyone wants to, do their thing. When we reflect, then we can be able to measure, right? So when we measure the consequences or the effects or our day-to-day activities, when we measure them, we can be able to understand if it is in line with what we are building now in this context, our character, right? If it is in line with what we've set down as goals to achieve, or the things we are building, or the kind of person we want to become. Okay, now what can help us is having a good picture of who you want to look like. Okay, so when you have a good picture of who you want to look like, I'm not saying it must be someone. It may just be the kind of life your future self you want to be like.
Yeah.
Okay, and the qualities this person or this your future self should possess. Okay, and then you have it well written down. You have it in your head. You have it in your mind. And your brain reminds you daily that this is who this person is. And then every day at the end of either, like I said, daily, weekly, or monthly, you have a time of reflection where you tend to measure what you've been doing lately. Okay? How it is leading you to becoming this image of your future self. I think that can help in this issue of character drifting. It can help when you are actually performing for people and when you are actually performing for yourself. Okay, so it will be difficult for you to know if you are performing for yourself if you do not, or if you are performing for people if you do not have a picture of who you should perform for.
You want to become. Okay.
Exactly. So, and the funny thing is, most young people, we are randomly living lives.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is where some people may actually still look successful to others by chance or by luck, and they cannot actually practically tell you in details, these are the rules I took. So it's more like, and it is very dangerous when goddess of good fortune gives people who are not prepared to receive a gift some gifts. It ruins them instead of becoming a blessing to them, right? So randomly living and is actually what causes more of character drifting. So, and that is where we perform for people more than actually building the kind of character we want.
I think I love what you said there, randomly living, because when one begins to randomly live a life, there is no goal, there are no plans, there is no structure. And when there is no structure, there is no direction, and you begin to get swayed by the winds of people's thoughts, people's comments and stuff, and opinions and stuff like that. Yeah, thank you for that. Mr. Chinozo.
Okay, how do we know that we are performing for people instead of living according to our own values? I personally think that when we confuse applause or praise for purpose, it shows that we are performing for people and not living according to values. For example, when we do something and people do not clap and we feel bad about it, It shows that our satisfaction, our joy, our feeling fulfilled depends on how others react. And that shows that we are performing for them and not according to our values or the things that we hold so dear. Another thing can be that we say yes when our God tells us no. When we say yes when our God is telling us no, it shows that we value what people say more than the values that we hold. And that goes a long way to also show that we are performing for others and not living according to our own values. It is a big problem in the world today. It is affecting every sexes, both male and female. And even in the church, even in the schools, even in workplaces, you will see yourself gradually dancing to the tune of other people because you do not know how to uphold your values. Because sometimes you might feel you are standing alone, or sometimes you feel that there is no point doing it because no one can actually see me. So these are the little reasons why we can be performing for others and not live according to our values.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Listening to people's opinions, channeling your actions and the standards of your life based on what people say or the reactions of people. Honestly, thinking about it now, I think I used to be a victim of that, I would say, because there was a time in my own life where everything I did was centered around or was built around what people saw. I remember I had this mentor a long time ago. I always wanted him to give me this affirmation, tell me, oh, you did well, I love what you did. But man, he never did that, and that thing ruined me. It messed up my brain. And I found out that I didn't come out of that situation until I realized that everything I did, my actions were guided and directed based on my need, or I say my want for the man's affirmation and validation, basically. And you see, it led me to living outside principles I believed in, and there was no progress made. There's something from what you've just said here. I've been studying Jim Rohn. I've been studying his works and his podcasts lately, and he mentioned something that I remembered when Mr. Ked was saying about when he was speaking about mother fortune rewarding someone who is not prepared. Jim Rohn said something. I'm going to paraphrase it. He said that the universe does not reward people who do not deserve it. The universe does not reward those who do not deserve it. So for one to actually deserve or get something for universe or partake in the universe's fortune, they have to deserve it by building themselves. Now, this leads me to my next question now. Now, in this society where we are looking for comfort and instant gratification, quick fix, why is discipline becoming increasingly difficult? Because for one to deserve the universe's blessings, I will use that word, we need to build ourselves. Like you guys had mentioned, we need to build our personal character. But these things are impossible to build without discipline. Looking outside today, discipline is fading away because everybody wants to be in their comfort zone. Everybody wants to have that instant gratification, that quick result. So why is discipline so difficult in our time now? This is our time now.
I think Mr. Nonso, I was just looking at your face. I was thinking you're going to say, let me go first. but it seems he wants to, inside his mind, he's saying you should go first. But then in the first statement he made at the opening of this conversation, he talked about some things. See, Mr. Nonso is someone I've known for a while now. I will always say a very long while, because it's more like we've known ourselves for ages, because he's someone I've always, learned one or two things from. Now, while we were serving, he's actually my TC. We went to mission together, and I'm glad we are in this conversation together too. So while we were serving on a full-time mission, there is one statement he left with me that, till now, he stays with me. And then I was sent to an area where I felt that it was very difficult in that area. So I was training someone, a new missionary too, and I just needed to pretend to be very strong, because I knew he needed to draw from my own pretense, right? Yeah. So, and I often speak with him. Oftentimes we communicate, because he became one of my very close friends. And we used to act like brothers. People never knew that we are not even from the same place. Okay, so though we are from the same state, but we are not from the same local government. So I remember one day when I was complaining, he said, Dawuche, after some kind of, comforting words and the rest of it, he said, sacrifice is the only surrender that is victory. That was what he said. I don't know if you can remember the day he said that, but then I
need to write that down. Can you come again? So I need to write that down.
So he said, sacrifice is the only surrender that is victory.
I remember.
Now he could the words, okay, they are just normal words that we are used to, but then putting them together, okay, meant a lot to me then. What he was teaching me then was, I need to understand that in order for us to finish our missionary service, then we needed to sacrifice our time, our effort, and regardless of how difficult we think it appears, we need to stay to the end. Now, he talked about easy route, okay, and he talked about everybody wanting it to be very easy for them and quick. In our former slang, we say sharp money or sharp success. Now, at the beginning of this conversation, he made mention of those things. Then, I think the reason we are lacking discipline now in our generation and in our time is because discipline requires a lot, and the young minds, we are not ready to give a lot. That is the fact. So discipline requires a whole lot, and we are not ready to give a whole lot. So if there are easy ways you could make me look like someone I aspire to look like without doing the things he has done, or without going through the processes he must have gone through to get to that stage, please show me that easy part. That is what is happening in our society today, and that is why people no longer celebrate hard work and honesty and integrity. People no longer, like we talked about character, people no longer applaud strong character in the society. But everybody wants to respect. Everybody wants to respect who is, or everybody wants to regard who has those material things to show, even if the person lacks the quality or the characters that should accompany those things. So that is why discipline is on a drop in our society, especially among the young people. Okay, so to just sum it up, I feel the reason why discipline is on a drop is we no longer have a society that encourages discipline, but we celebrate. Okay, we have a society that celebrates lack of discipline. But as long as you have material things to cover up, you are welcome to the society. And we no longer have young men and young women who are willing to give a whole lot to becoming who they want to be. And I will always say, the society has failed us and the family has failed us. Because of course I'm a religious person, but I wouldn't say I'm a traditionalist, but I believe so much in Igbo culture and Igbo tradition. So the lack of our identity has also contributed to lack of discipline in the society. Because I mean, there used to be a generation where, in order for you to be respected in the society, you need to work for it. You need to show it.
Yes.
But we don't have a society where you can even buy the respect. And without even working for it, someone will have to work for you on you, or someone has to work for it on your behalf. So that is what is happening in the society. Yes. So let me just pause there. I know Mr. Nonso has something to say. Like, I mean, he has so many things to say. I mean.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Nonso.
Okay. I'll use this as an example. Brazilian butt lift and ladies that go to the gym to get their shapes all out. There will always be a very, very big difference. Now, for Brazilian butt lift, you can see clearly that there is something off about the shape that is not natural. But for the gym, shapes that are gotten from the gym, you can see that this is a product of hard work.
Yeah.
The product of dedication and discipline. You know, I've come to believe that discipline in our time is on the drop because of our orientation. Many people believe that if they can get something like this, what is the need of going the more difficult route to get it? And over time, the experience, the ideas, the learning that comes from working hard, from dedication, from late nights, from embarrassment, from rejections, you do not happen to get those things at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we get men and women that are half-baked. That is because there was nowhere in their lives that they actually exercised discipline in the things that they were doing. So it is on the low now because people they just don't want anything that would disturb them. Let's just go about it this way. I think, you know, there is this saying most ladies use these days. I'm in my soft gear era, something like that. So people now, they just do not want to dedicate themselves to something. So I believe, yes, I believe that is why it is just falling drastically.
Man, a whole lot of things that make us worry, that make us feel very concerned about the society and where it's heading to. Mr. Kennedy spoke about culture, about lack of our identity, because we are lacking it. We are beginning to forget our identity, and because of that, discipline is dropping. You know, for instance, I'm Igbo. I think we are most Igbos here. And I grew up reading powerful books. And one of the powerful books that elevated the Igbo culture in a way I read as a young boy was Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe of late memory. Yeah. Now, in the main figure of the book was the man Okonkwo. And in that story, it wasn't just about Okonkwo. Then, as a young boy, I saw Okonkwo. I read Okonkwo. I saw Okonkwo. I witnessed Okonkwo in the book. But growing up and reflecting on the things that I read from that book, it wasn't just about Okonkwo. It was also about the Igbo culture, the Igbo identity, who we were, the part of hard work. A man's wealth was measured by the amount of time he spends on the farm cultivating yam, the amount of the number of yams he has harvested, he stacks or in his barn, you know. And for him to have gotten to that point of having lots of yam barns, he must have put in the sweat in the farm, planting, taking care of these things and harvesting. Now, it's a worry that I want to ask this question. What has actually changed in our culture? What is one thing for you? I know there are lots of things that has changed in our culture, basically. But to us here, what is that one thing that you feel has changed in our culture that is leading to this decadence in self-development, this decadence in going through the right channel in building oneself? What is that thing that has changed in our culture to you? What's one thing that has changed in our culture to you?
Okay, so of course, I've taken it upon myself to always go first before Mr. Nonsense, because when I don't they throw the hook at me. Yeah, you understand. But then, if Chinua Achebe were to actually be alive now, I bet you he would have actually exclaimed things have actually fallen apart because it has.
Obviously it has.
Okay, and we now let me use something that is very practical to give an example now. Unlike many people who confuse the chieftaincy title that is called Nze. Now that people call themselves Ichie and the rest of it. Now, Ichie is actually what we ascribe to our ancestors, those who are gone. But it's just that funny enough, we that are alive, we make those mistakes by calling other people Ichie and the rest of it. Then Nze.
Are you serious?
Nze. Yes. Yes. So they are known as Ndichie. Yeah, they are known as Ndichie. So Nze is a title that is given to people, okay, especially men. Now, I want to use that as an example. The status of an Nze, okay, that is given to men in those days are actually being merited. So you get the status of an Nze by merit. Now, what is happening to our time now is I can go to my village if I have money and buy the status of an Nze. So are you seeing the corruption in culture? I want to use this to tell you to make a point. Are you seeing the corruption in culture? Now, then, before you in some communities, in some Igbo communities, before you can get to that status of an Nze, you must have actually done something great. And now, number one, you must have a family that in the community, everybody knows that this man's family is a virtuous and a righteous family. So you preside over your family in righteousness. The community knows you as a man of uprightness and a man of integrity. Okay? So and it is rewarded based on your achievement, not financial achievement to say, but in your achievement in the Igbo land, and you must be well taught in the culture and the practices of your land, your community, and the rest of it. So this is just to mention a few, although there are so many other criteria to get to that level or to that status of being called an Nze. But then we can see a young boy of 20 years, because he has now, it is now something that you can purchase. That status now is something you can purchase. Now, when some communities, a young boy can go make money, even without people knowing how he made this money, can come back and buy that, decide to take up a chieftaincy title and the rest of it. So you are now rewarded based on, you are now giving that chieftaincy title based on how much you can pay. And sometimes in Nigerian movies, they try to use that to talk about how we are having a decline in our cultural values and the rest of it, right? Yes. So now bringing it back to the question you asked. We now live in a society where, in fact, most people who are supposed to teach this culture to us, the culture of integrity, the culture of hard work, aside the Igbos, these were actually something that Africans in general were known for. Now, this thing was not meant to cage you. all right? But it was meant to give you that, will I say, it was meant to build in you that perseverance spirit, okay? In case you
Yeah.
face things that should actually shake you as a person. Just like Emelogu, sorry, Nonso, Mr. Nonso talked about, I'm just calling him his other name. Mr. Nonso talked about the BBL and the natural bodybuilding of ladies. Okay.
Yeah.
There are no side effects to someone who built her body through the natural process, like going to gym and eating some natural fruit and some other stuffs. But there is always a side effect that would make a physician to be very careful not to bring those side effects on those who want to get that which they should have gotten naturally, okay, through medical means, right? So there are side effects that they shouldn't be careful, that they are very careful not to bring them to pass. But even at that, okay, the confidence that someone who built hers naturally has is always different from that of the person who did hers through medical ways and the rest of it is always ready to want to defend why she did that. But you cannot body shame someone who has hers naturally. So there is actually a difference. Even though in the society we can compare these two people, say, this one get them, this one no get them. There's always a difference. There's always a confidence that comes with knowing that you did yours naturally. Okay, that is actually another instance, right? So in a society where people who are supposed to pass along the cultures do not understand this culture, not necessarily because they lived a different culture. That is the reason I talked about randomly living as a young person. It can be very damaging. See, you are either on a side of let me know, or you're on a side of I don't really care much, let me just live. And you see, on the side of let me just live is more dangerous than not knowing. It is more dangerous than not knowing. Okay, because sometimes people who do not know may tend to get some things, okay, as they will say, by luck. By you who know you are supposed to know but refuse to know, there is a way life treats you. These are just more like my personal observation and my personal thought, because I have actually interviewed some persons. I've actually interviewed some people I feel are actually at the stage, not at the stage I want to be, but at the stage I know I will have to pass through to get to where I want to be. Okay? And I've heard them talk, and I've heard them a kind of share their experience. See, information is everything.
Yes.
And a man who has information, okay, like I posted by Frederick Douglass, okay, a man who is informed or who has information will never want to succumb to becoming a slave. So information is everything. Information is everything. So we are losing the values of our culture and the morals that are in our culture because we do not have those to teach this culture to the young people.
We do not have.
Okay, so we do not have those to teach this culture to the young people.
That is intriguing. Honestly, that is intriguing. Because it's declining, like you said, because there are not enough individuals who have proper information about what our culture is, what it used to be, to actually teach our generation right now. Like, and the painful thing is that we are losing authors like Chinua Achebe. I think the only person in that regard now, in our own time now, is Chimamanda Adichie.
Yes.
And I don't think I can call any other person that I know that does that. Every other author is moving towards getting down fictional stories, novels, romantic novels, romantic movies. Like even our movie industries right now, I think in a way they're not helping matters, because you rarely come across movies that actually have proper information on our identity. Now let's move above the identity of the Igbos, like of Nigeria. There are lots of tribes in this country. This country is blessed with with diversity. Now, the reason I feel like the major reason why we are in this crisis we are today in our society because we are gradually forgetting who we are. You know, there's this I want to paraphrase an adage. I say it is not proper for a man to forget where he came from. In paraphrase, so it's a problem. Thank you, Mr. Kedge, for that.
Okay, still on the culture, right? I personally feel and I believe that culture, just like we know, is the core identity of a people, and it is kind of losing its place in the lives of so many, even in homes, because we have kind of shifted our value and importance from it. When you go to certain homes today, when certain things are being spoken of, even as members of the church sometimes, you hear people say, no, you don't say that, you don't do that. It makes you look barbaric or diabolic. And some of those things in itself are not actually what they are being painted to be. I believe that we as a people should pay greater attention to our roots. It is declining because the flag bearers of these things, the people who went before us, they kind of have played down on it. And invariably, we, in no distant time, might begin to play down on it also. And it's going to transcend to our children, where at the end of the day, we're people who eventually forget their culture, so it's very, very disheartening sometimes when I remember that things are not as they used to be. So I believe that's one of the reasons for the decline in cultural practices in our time today.
Now, I want us to close off this conversations with this. The truth is, personally, I get scared whenever I think about this. Whenever I think about that, in the next 10 years, if nothing is done now, my child or my children will come into this messed up society. Like, to me, It's a nightmare. It's something like when I think about it at night, I jump up from bed. It's a nightmare because we ourselves are actually able to find our paths in rising above these vices that is eating deep into the fabric of our societal values now, because we have the strength, or we found a little bit of the strength to go beyond our comforts and try to gather information, as Mr. Kedge had said, to gather invaluable information on the right things to do, on the ideal things, on things that should be done. And because we are able to rise above that, put in the effort, we are trying to build our lives and help build the lives of those who are around us, who care, who want to actually follow this. But when you think of the next generation, you realize that with the way we are declining, we're actually giving birth to a generation where there might be few or no people who have this strength we have now.
Yeah.
To search for these things, to build above these things. Now, it leads me to asking, if you had to do something today in our society to save the next generation, what would that be?
Strong question.
I think the strong question is also pointing at Mr. Ike. They start again. All right. So I would say lately, okay, I started on something. I think it's something I'm beginning to love, and that's actually is writing. Okay, because I read a lot of books, I also think a lot. Okay, and because I think a lot, I want to actually not just understand the author's perspective of things, but correlate it with what I already know or what I think, and how I can harmonize it to become a better person. And most of the times I get to obtain personal knowledge, and also when I try to apply some of the things I know, I get to have experiences. Okay, so because of that, I started writing. Okay, sometimes I write my thoughts, either in a poetic way, or will I say either through poetry. I express myself through poetry, or I write articles. So I've actually been publishing some of them. I think it's just one of the ways I feel I can help the younger generation get to learn something from me, right? I just feel it's one of the ways I can help the younger generation. Now the thing is, though not actually many can get to read some of the things I have written. It is not like setting a life principle or life standard, but it is just one of the ways of letting the world hear my voice too on some of the things I think we need to work on, or the younger generation need to work on. Okay, so that is one. And one of them is also, kind of allowing myself to, speak to younger people when I think I have the opportunity to. And of course, the thing actually led to honoring the invitation to be in this podcast, to actually share some of my personal thoughts. Though they are personal, they are opinions. They may not be facts. They are still opinion, because everyone is entitled to listening to people and then weighing the information you receive. Okay, then filtering it. Okay, and then applying the ones you think fit very well with you based on the kind of person you want to become. All right. Yeah. So I think these are just few things I am doing currently. Okay, if I'm to sound more practical, I'm doing currently to help the younger generation learn back some of the, should I call it societal cultures that are supposed to be among us, instead of what the world is trying to impose on us. Okay, now one funny thing is falsehood is actually, it's louder than truth. So that is why we see, this decline happening so fast, as if it is not controllable. But I think we can still grab few young people that we can, okay, or who come across the kind of things we do. So personally, the kind of things I do. So that is just my thought.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kede, for sharing that. Thank you so much. I would say I read your articles, and you're very, very talented writer. And I love the power of your words. And I feel like every young man and woman who comes across your articles will actually have this sense of awakening to seeing the reality of things, to seeing the urgency of things, and decide to join the people that want to actually make this society a better place. Mr. Nonso, let's hear your thoughts for a roundup for the day.
Okay. If I am to change, I think what I'm going to begin with is establishing the idea that the saying that old is gold. Going back to how things were done traditionally. I was speaking with an elderly man, I think yesterday. He told me stories of how he worked closely with his father and so many things that he learned from his father. I think the man told me yesterday he's 61 years old. So whilst I was listening to him speak, something happened to be very common in the things he was saying. He was repeatedly saying that he learned this and that from his father. And because of what he learned from his father, that is why it brought him thus far. And he intends to even make sure that his children passes it on to their children and their children to come. But there must be a change in thought. A thought pattern of the single adults of our world today have been greatly diluted with a bunch of messy things. So going back to the idea that old is gold, that we must still see discipline as a very attractive thing. There is nothing that is more attractive than when you see a young man or a young lady that is very disciplined. I don't know if I'm the only one who finds that very interesting. When you see someone who is very coordinated, who is very organized, it looks very, very, very interesting to see. So going back to those things and reminding everyone that these things were the things that our fathers used to believe in. And these things are the things that should still hold water, even in our day to day. I think that's what I would do. Just, it will be a war against the mind, because our society today, they are playing huge tricks on our minds. So it will be a war to realign the thought pattern of people, and to make them believe and understand again that we must go back to the old, because that will always remain gold. So that's just my thoughts.
Thank you very much. I love the old is gold narrative. Like it's really, really true. Thinking about it, we have lots of lessons to learn from those who have walked this path before us. Though our times are different, their time and the things they experienced then and things we're experiencing now might be different, but it does not in any way rule out the fact that, hey, we have a whole lot to learn from them. So thank you so much for that. And, this has been a very, very wonderful conversation with you too. Trust me. Personally, myself, I have learned a whole lot. I'm an individual that builds my life by learning through the books I read, the kind of things I see, kind of conversations I listen to. And I also enjoy having to talk to people to learn from them too. Hence came the birth of this podcast. Like Mr. Ikede said, he's doing the things he knows how to do best, the things he knows that if he keeps doing them and he does them better, it will actually help in influencing and saving the few of us who want to be saved, who want to join this force in saving this world or society for future generations. And to those who are watching, to everyone who has listened, and I hope you also learned a whole lot, because I did. Mr. Ikede mentioned something about opinions. These are everything discussed here are opinions. Some of them could be facts. Some of them could be facts. But they are relative opinions on how we feel about these problems in our society. But the truth is, remains one thing. Everything we've said here has sprung up from the area or the fountain of our personal moral values, the things we believe in, the things we believe to be ideal, the cultures our ancestors held on to and tried to pass down to us. In the words of Jim Rohn said, "Do not be a follower, rather be a student." All right. Do not be a follower, rather be a student. I'm going to leave this question with the audience, everyone who is watching here right now, and I hope it helps you in asking. It helps you in thinking and asking yourself things that you need to do to actually be a man of substance rather than a man of noise. And I'm going to leave this question with you. The question is, if no one could see your life for the next 5 years, what kind of person would you become? It's a personal question. I want everybody who watches this, who comes across this, to ask themselves this question, and hopefully it gets something, it sparks some light into you and puts you on the right path. I cannot fully express how grateful I am to you two, Mr. Ikedi and Mr. Emelogo, Mr. Chinonso. I'm grateful, honestly, for the privilege you gave me, because accepting my invitation is a privilege. So I'm grateful that you are here. I'm grateful that you've shared all you've shared, and we've come to learn from you, from all you've said. So thank you very much, and I hope that in later episodes, obviously, I'm going to invite you, and I hope when I invite you again, you accept my invitation and you show up. But for now, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chinonso, and thank you, Mr. Ikedi, too, for being here.
Thank you. It was an honor.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you a whole lot. And to those of you who watched us, Mr. Wealth, for listening and for watching, thank you also. And to those of you who will see this on YouTube when it comes out, I hope you learned a lot, and thank you too for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to like this for more episodes on Let's Talk Wednesday. Have a pleasant evening. See you next week.